Come on in. We're going to hang out for a little while. I just felt like talking. So we're going to chat, hang out. I want to play with this Be Live. I'm paying for this. It's my new toy. So I want to play with it and figure it out. I'm interviewing Roxy again tonight, and I'm interviewing Nick Reeder tomorrow, and I'm using this toy to do it. So I got to learn it. And I only know one way to learn, and that's by doing it. So if you guys want to hang out and chat, come on in. We're going to talk about a few things. I got a few things written down, and we're going to get into all of that. But I'm going to play with this Be Live and figure it out. Matter of fact, if somebody wants to hang out during, let me know, and I can pull you in. I can pull people in. We can have a group chat. We can do a whole different kind of thing, you know. But I'm experimenting with it and seeing what I can do, what it'll allow me to do, and figured we'd talk about some stuff. Something that's got me aggravated, and it's kind of a frustrating thing, really, is Twitter has me blocked. They said I was acting like a robot, I guess because I post too much. You know, I was doing too many streams or whatever. I don't know. Because I stream to Periscope now as well. And that's Twitter's streaming thing that they're trying to do. And that's all I could think of because I don't tweet that much. If you follow me on Twitter, I tweet a lot, probably for a regular person, but not so much that you consider me to be a robot, I don't think. But I got banned from Twitter, and I can't get back on Twitter until I verify my cell phone number. Well, I don't have a cell phone, Twitter. I never did. I can't afford to pay a cell phone bill. I sometimes have one. When I buy a card for it, I use prepaid. You know, I don't consistently have a cell phone, Twitter. Can I just use my computer and my other computer I carry in my pocket for the methods that they were designed for? They work still. I don't need to have cell phone service to use Twitter. So can you let me verify my email maybe? Isn't that a better way to go? You know, why do I have to verify my cell phone number? Why do I have to pay for a $35 card that I don't really need right now? And because cell phone doesn't even work where I live. I live in a dead area for cell phones. So even if I had minutes on my cell phone right now, I couldn't verify my cell phone number. You know what I'm saying? Why are they doing that? Why do you have to do that now? I'm not going to buy a phone card just to verify my cell phone number for Twitter. So it's going to be a while, Twitter, before I'm back over there. Anyway, so because I can't verify I'm not a robot. You know, Dion says next they'll call you a Russian. Absolutely. They will. They call everybody who disagrees with them Russian. And, you know, they'll ban me for being Russian because I talk about things like Julian Assange, or I talk about truth being suppressed or censorship. They'll ban me for whatever reason they ban me for. You never know what it's going to be. But I get throttled and suppressed. Facebook does an interesting thing to me now. They take the views away from my videos. Let me fix my hat. My hat's crooked. They take the views away. So like I did a feed the other day where during the feed we had upwards of 100 people here. And 121 at one point because I remember commenting on it at the end of the feed, and now still I think the video has like 40 views now, but at the end of the feed it had 0 views. They took all the views from the live, and that's what they do is they throttle me now and they take views away, and that makes it look what that does. My wife's like, what's that matter? What does that matter if they take your views away? Well, what it matters is when people are scrolling through and they see your video, if it has 1,000 views, they're more likely to click on it than if it has 0. So they do that to make it easier to suppress you. Don't put your phone number up. I don't have the ability to delete that, but I'm not going to put that on screen. But no, I can send you a link. This is cool. Be Live is neat. So I pay $30 a month for this, and I can send my guests a link, and all you do is click on the link from the device you want to use, like your phone or your computer, and it'll pull you right in, and I can bring you up on screen, and it's really neat. But that's what I'm doing is playing with this and learning it and figuring it out and figuring out what I can do and how to play with it during a live. That's why I'm doing this, is so I can figure that out, because I'm going to do, like I said, I got an interview tonight and then another one tomorrow, and I'm trying to line more up. I want to interview all kinds of people. I do a politics show, The Daily Burn, so I'd like to have candidates on that are running for office. I'd like to people that are activists, all kinds of people I would like to interview. And then I do a conspiracy theory show. So any conspiracy theory stuff, I would love to interview people and have them on as guests. So if you know anybody who's an expert on something, or an activist that I may not be connected with, or a politician running for office, hook me up. Let me know. Point me in their direction. I will reach out to them and see if they'd be interested, because I want to do that now. I want to interview more guests and stuff. I do the streaming now professionally, and I do 5 shows currently, but we're going to grow. I'm trying to get other people to come on and do things too on my YouTube channel, to have like a centralized little entertainment site, where we have different things. But right now I'm plugging it with all the content I can provide. But I do this part-time in the evenings. I have a regular full-time job, but in the evenings I'm trying to be a professional streamer. So at night I sit here at the desk and I work on the shows that I do. Hopefully you guys are digging them. Hopefully they catch on and grow an audience. I'd like for this to eventually be my job. And there are ways to support me. I don't have any links right now in the description, but usually I have links up for my Patreon. I have a Patreon, and then I also have a PayPal for little donations. I call it a virtual high five, but you can do anything you want. And then I have a GoFundMe. We're raising money. We raised money already for a computer, but I'm still $100 away from getting it. It ended up costing a little more than he thought, and I owe $100 more. So I got to come up with that. I thought I was going to be able to do it out of this check, but I'm not. And with Christmas coming, it may be a little ways off. I'm hoping to get it soon, though. So as soon as I get that money and I can get him paid, we will have a better computer. So there may be some lagging problems. That's something I was trying to figure out during this too, is to see what happens when I bring in pictures, what happens when I change things on the screen, and seeing if it lags. Some of that's my computer, I've gotten my internet connection fixed and all of that. So it's getting enough signal. It's just the computer. So once we get the better computer, everything will start being a lot smoother and look more professional. But the next thing I wanted to get into that I had written down anyway, until we get some more comments, is I saw this scrolling through Facebook today, and this made me laugh when I saw it. And the guy I saw posting it, he's a regular troll of mine, and he is a burner. He's one of those that is a burner, but he's also vote blue no matter who. You know what I mean? So he will betray his values in an instant to vote for the political candidate he thinks is, or the media tells him will win. Well, he still believes that that's Hillary Clinton. And as I was scrolling through my feed, timeline anyway, or whatever you call it, newsfeed, on Facebook this morning, I saw that he had posted that Bill didn't enter till late when he won. And I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't verify it. I'm not big on Bill Clinton trivia, but that Bill entered the race late and that Hillary still has time and that she might enter. And he's hoping so because he really believes she'll win, even though everything showed you in 2016 that nobody wants Hillary Clinton to be president and she's a guaranteed loser. But, I think it's hilarious that people think she would do it. I don't think Hillary would enter the race. I think it was shown to Hillary beyond a shadow of a doubt that nobody wants her to be president. She's not well liked. She is very well known. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking anything away from the woman. She's one of the most well-known names in politics. She's just not one of the most well-liked. We need to be honest with ourselves about that. No matter how you feel about her, I tend to think that there's a lot there. I think it goes pretty deep with her. I think she's evil to her core, but she's a horrible person. That's demonstrable. I can't prove a lot of the things that I think about Hillary. It's just a lot of weird coincidences, a lot of weird, things lining up, a lot of weird, well, this deal happened while this paid speech was going to Bill Clinton, a lot of that stuff going on, a lot of weird money funneling in and out of the Clinton Foundation from Saudis and all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of dirt on the Clintons. But all that aside, she's just not likable. And I think it was shown to her beyond a shadow of a doubt that the American people do not want Hillary Clinton to be president of the United States. She can't win. And I think she knows it. I don't think there's any chance that she will enter the presidential race. I think she'll flirt with it and make it seem like she might, but she's not gonna. I really don't think so. I don't think her pride can handle getting slaughtered again by Donald Trump, a reality TV star. I don't think she's that out of touch. She is the type of person that would be the last to know that it's over, but I think she's got to know it's over. It's over. Nobody wants her to be president. Nobody wants her for anything. I don't think she could win a Senate seat. I really don't. I think Hillary's done politically. And there is a thing. This is off topic. This is more conspiracy theory related, more something for the conspiracy theory show. But why is there that picture floating around of Tulsi giving the pyramid sign, giving that pyramid sign in front of the Capitol? Why is that circulating? What is that? Why did she take that picture? What is that? Like, just did she think it was cool? Or is there more to that? Like every celebrity takes this picture. Every celebrity, everyone takes the one eye picture. Is it just that photographers love that picture? Or is there something to it? You know what I mean? How many coincidences do we just let slide? But that picture bothers me. Every time I see it, I'm like, why'd she take it? I don't know what it means. I know what that's a symbol for, but I don't know if that's what her intentions were, or if she was trying to say, I'm here to take you on. It could be that. Could be, giving you your little symbol in front of the Capitol building to show that, I'm going to take on the deep state Illuminati, the powers that be. Or could be her signaling that this is who I really am. You know, they do always tell you, they always put it out there, they always put it in front of you what their intentions are. So they hide in plain sight. I don't like that picture. That's all I'm saying. I just don't like that picture. But I don't think Hillary's going to run for president. I think it's like Dion says, it sells books. And I think the back and forth between her and Tulsi is starting to look a little staged. You know, I don't think there's any way in reality, Tulsi's an intelligent woman, that Tulsi believes she's going to win. I don't think she thinks that at this point. But she's talking and like she's going to be the next president. And I realize part of that is she's running, so she has to talk like a winner. But reality, she knows, she's got to know. There's no chance. I hate to say that. You know, it's not over or anything. But reality, she's probably not going to win the presidency. And she just doesn't have the name recognition for it. I love Tulsi. I hope she's in the Bernie administration. But I think the back and forth is a lot of pageantry, and it's benefiting both of them. It's benefiting both of them. So it's good. I like it. I like Tulsi's calling her out. Go Tulsi. For real. Call her out. She is a warmonger. She is the queen of all warmongers. That's accurate. Go Tulsi. I'm serious. I love Tulsi. But I just don't like that picture. That picture concerns me. And, you know, it just could be it's a popular pose. Everybody does it. Everybody does it. You know, I could show you tons of examples. I could pull up Google right now. There is a share screen option, but every time I click on it, it tells me I need some other program. And I bet you that other program costs $30 a month too. So this is becoming a money pit, and I can't invest any more until I get more supporters. Wink, wink. So help support the show and we'll be able to do cooler stuff. Because a lot of the cooler stuff costs money. And there's better streaming sites too. Because, you know, Facebook and YouTube, they're good. I've been told over and over again, don't bash them. They're good, but they have their restrictions, they have their limitations. And unfortunately, for somebody who talks about the things that I talk about, they're not very good, you know, for what I do. They don't like what I do. What I do isn't popular on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. It's not something that's pushed because everything I do, even just this, even hanging out with you guys, is centered around the truth. It all centers around the truth. Now, I am going to attempt something really quick that the tech support at Be Live told me could happen, told me I could do, told me would work. And if it crashes the feed, I apologize. But they assure me that if I get any problems during a feed, I can refresh the studio and it won't crash the feed. All right. Because I gave them, they're very responsive, by the way. This little program I'm paying for is very responsive to messages and to feedback. Like after every feed, they ask me how it went and I give them the review, you know, and if it's less than 4 stars, right away, message, what happened? So I told them that it went black during the interview with Roxy because everybody's mad at me. That's why we're doing a part 2. Everybody's mad at me because the Roxy interview got cut off. And I never really gave her any of your pushback. I asked a lot of you guys, what do you want me to ask her? And a lot of people responded, but I didn't get to it because we crashed. We were going to do like 2 hours, and I thought we had plenty of time. We had only been at an hour. I was watching the time. I was getting ready to start with what my agenda was. I had like 5 pages of questions. So, but it crashed. So tonight we're going to do that. But they assure me that if I would have refreshed the page, I could have kept going. So we are about to find out. I am going to refresh the page and keep talking. So I'm going to see with this little test I just want to see. All right, now I'm back on my side. But did I leave on your end at all? Did it cut out at all? Did it buffer or stop? Or did anything happen? Because everything's back like normal for me. So that worked fine. It does say that I've only been on for 30 seconds. So I don't know if I'm on a new feed. On my phone, the screen is black. But now I'm back. So the screen did go black. All right. But the feed stayed consistent. Did the audio stay consistent? So I just want to know, because they tell me if there's a problem. There was no problem when I did that. But if they say if there was a problem, if it freezes, or sometimes the comments have stopped, they tell me that if I refresh, that will fix it. And so, yes, black screen, Clinton says, but was there audio? Did the audio stop? Because I talked all through it. So while it was refreshing, I kept talking. And I'll be able to see when I watch it back if the audio stayed. But I'm just playing with stuff and seeing what it does when I do certain things and figuring it out. Roy says just black, but came back. Okay. So I'll find out if the audio was consistent later too. And Nissa, earlier, if you're still here, you had given me your phone number. I wouldn't be calling you. It would be a link. Did you want to come on? I want to make sure you really want to before I send you the link, because it would bring you in to the feed. So Clinton says there was no audio while it was refreshing. Okay. But it does work. I just need to know that you won't be able to hear it. So if there's a problem, if we have, because what happened during the Roxy interview was it went black, and then our names were still on the screen and everything, and the feed was still going. There were still people there, but there was no audio and no pictures of me or her. So they say if I would have refreshed the screen, that would have brought us right back in. So that's good to know. So if it happens during an interview, during a live in the future, I will know that will work. So that's one of the things I wanted to find out with this little feed here. But we can talk about absolutely anything. Usually, anytime I do a feed, I try to make sure there's some value to it. So I did write down things to talk about. I don't ever just get on here and waste your time. But so far, we've talked about the likelihood of Hillary running for president. Why do I need a cell phone to verify my Twitter? I can't use Twitter until I verify it with a cell phone number. I don't have a cell phone. I didn't have a cell phone number when I signed up for Twitter. I didn't use a cell phone number to sign up for Twitter. Why do I need a cell phone to use Twitter? You don't need a cell phone to use Twitter. Anyways, the next thing I have written down to talk about is just something like a public service announcement. This is about, there is a thing on Halloween. I have 2 special needs children. They are, well, one has autism and the other is Fragile X. That's complicated. I could get into what it is, but it's just kind of simpler to just describe it as basically autistic type of a disease, but it's his is more genetic. Anyways, they are grown, but they still love Halloween, for example. Now, my boys, they don't trick or treat anymore, but they did until they were very tall. You know what I mean? They're young at heart. And there is a thing where grown children that you would consider too old to be trick or treating, will carry these blue buckets. Okay, special needs children will carry these blue buckets. And that's to let you know that, okay, this person looks way too old for Halloween, but the blue bucket symbolizes special needs. And I know that with my boys, like, they probably trick or treated till they were 17. It's really hard to tell them no. You know what I mean? And they love it. They love dressing up. They love going around getting the candy. And you're like, we'll buy them their own candy. That's not the same thing. We all know that. It's not the same thing. And if you are, a child in mindset, you don't understand. Okay, I'm too big. I'm too big to do this. I mean, it's fun. I want to do it. I just, it broke my heart because it was rare. But there are those people that would be like, you're too old to be out trick or treating. Man, it's a piece of candy, dude. You understand? I always looked at it like that, like you're being a jerk. But these blue buckets are to help you realize that these people have special needs and, to be cool. Just be kind, That's all I'm saying. So if you see the blue buckets and, now you know what that is. Now you know what that's for. So it's like a blue pumpkin bucket and they give those out at state and special schools for the handicapped and special needs so that you can identify and see that what's going on. And that way it just protects everybody. And it just, I think it's common sense. Like I said, when I went around with my boys, I thought it was common sense. So I would get mad. It would upset me when people would have a negative reaction. Because I'm like, man, you bought a $10, $20 worth of candy with the intent to give it out, to children. So what does it matter, dude? Nissa says I trick or treated at 32. What does it matter? What if I had a bucket? You know, why does it matter? You bought that candy to give it away for free. You bought that candy with the intention of giving it all away. So why are you upset about who you're giving it to? Why be a jerk anyway? That's how I always looked at it. I'd get mad. I'd be like, man, he might be taller than me, but he loves this. And you just give him the fucking Snickers. I whispered it. Sorry, Liz. If you're here, I accidentally cussed. I get upset. You know what I mean? Trick or treating's fun. Matter of fact, this year we're giving out hot dogs to the adults. What are you being so stingy for? It's going to be very cold here Halloween. It's supposed to snow, ice and sleet. Babels was telling me that this morning. I was like, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. I don't want any ice or sleet. Man, that scares me. I had a bad accident on ice once, and it terrified me for life. Like if my wheels slip on the road, I am scared to death instantly. Oh my goodness. That scares me. Oh, I hate driving in snow or ice. It's the worst. But let me know what you guys think about that. Is anyone ever too old to trick or treat? Do you get to a point where you're too old? I'm mentioning people with special needs who look at the world differently. The world is very different to people like my boys, and it's just a very different place. And they look at everything from it's more of an innocent view. I really don't really know how to explain it. I could try harder. I could try and write it down, but I would have to figure out how to say it. It's just they don't think of things the same way. So that would upset them, when people would react negatively, and that would upset me because I'm just like, man, be cool. Always just be cool. That's how I try to live. Just be kind. You never know. Like my boss, I work in customer service, and my boss will tell me all the time, you never know what's going on with somebody in their life. What's going on? There's somebody they love could have died. They could have just lost their job. You never know. They could be mad or upset for all kind of reasons. So just keep that in mind. It's just good advice, because you never do know. And you should just be kind. Be respectful. Treat people the way you would want to be treated. And, always know that there's probably something you haven't taken into consideration. There's always something going on that maybe you hadn't thought of. And, that grown person standing in front of you might mentally be a child that's having a great time and you're being a jerk. You put your foot in your mouth a lot of times by acting like that, by acting on impulse instead of, just observing and figuring out what's going on. It would took you 5 seconds. If you'd had a one sentence conversation with him, you would have known right away, and then you wouldn't have been a jerk. And you wouldn't be embarrassed right now when I tell you that you're a jerk, because you know my assertive ass told him he was a jerk. You know that's what happened. Matter of fact, that's what happened with my last job. You know, I had a bad boss. I did a couple feeds about bad bosses, and the reason why I don't ever really call people out in my real life, but she was a terrible boss. And she tried to be ignorant with me, and I'm too assertive for that. You can reprimand me, absolutely, but you're not going to lie. You're not going to sit and lie on me. I will absolutely tell you about yourself in a hot second. That's a lot of the reason why I need to figure out some way to get paid to talk, because I'm going to end up doing that for a living. Anyways, I'm too I don't know. I don't know what the word is, but I don't like to put up with stuff that I don't feel is something I should tolerate. I have a high self value and self worth. I feel like I'm worth more than to let someone sit and treat me like garbage. But one day that's going to have me sitting out somewhere with a sign, because you have to kind of take it, you know. Like my boss says, you know, keep in mind they could be having a bad day, because in customer service, you have to let people treat you like garbage. It is really sad sometimes. It upsets me when I think about it. But let me know what you guys want to talk about. I've got a few more things written down. I wanted to get out the thing about the blue buckets, though, because my wife shared that today, and I was reading the post, and I'm like, that's cool, because I wish they'd have had that, because my boys haven't trick or treated in years, like I said, but you know, when they did it when they were very tall. One of my sons he's like 6 inches, 7 inches taller than me. He's really tall. So they were taller than me when they were 13, you know. They always look too old to be doing it, but they're not. They weren't. No one is. I don't know why you're being so damn stingy with your free candy. But another thing I wanted to ask you guys while you're here is, what is your favorite news source? I am doing a little news show on Mondays, and I don't want to use any mainstream media for it. I was using mainstream media a little bit because I wanted to follow it just to see what they're talking about. You know, you got to know your enemy. And I guess you still got to do that to some degree, but I really want to kill off the mainstream media. I really want it to die. And the only thing that will kill it, the only thing that will make it die, is to take viewership away from it, to stop consuming it. If you're looking at it and participating in it in any way, you're helping it. And I just want it to die off. I want the media to go away. It's a weapon. It's so dangerous. It's doing so much harm. So I use independent media, and I always want to hear what people are digging, what independent media sites, independent journalists that you guys are into. A lot of the people that watch these shows are very active. I see you guys out on Facebook all the time. You're a lot of really active people, so I'm sure you know some good sources. I like a lot of I like foreign news. You know, if I'm going to watch a news show, I usually watch RT, and I look at the news wires. You can actually look at the news wires that the news uses. You know, you just go to the main news sources that they use. They all use the same sources. So if you want anything they're covering on the mainstream, you can get that for yourself. And then independently, there's good journalism being done in the foreign stuff. Even a little bit of Al Jazeera sometimes has good coverage, and the Intercept is good. Trying to think, what's his name? There's a guy I follow on Twitter that I like a lot, although he's very right leaning. But is it Tim Pool? Can't remember. There was a time when I liked Anomaly, but I don't anymore. And I don't think I really ever did. He puts out short videos. I think if I had ever watched him for like an hour, I probably would have realized right away that I didn't like him. But at first I did. I like some people from TYT. not TY. I wouldn't say TYT themselves. At first, I did until they sold out. But um, Hassan Piker does videos for TYT, and there's another guy, the British guy, I like him too. And then Amy something. Really bad with names offhand, but what's your favorite? Who's a good journalist or a good source that I should be checking out? Because I'm going to need to do more news research for my news show. I realized Monday night we were 40 minutes in and I had run out of notes and we weren't getting very many comments. So I realized right away I didn't watch enough news this week. I didn't know what else to talk about. And I need some more news sources. So whatever you dig, whatever you've been following, let me know. And I'll check them out. But speaking of media, the mainstream media anyway, Mika Brzezinski from Morning Joe, she tweeted out, right? So they booed Trump at the World Series, or they didn't. Who knows? Some people say the media faked that they didn't really boo him, but maybe they did. I wasn't there. I'm not real sure. They showed that they did, and he looked like he was responding to being booed. So I think it happened. But Mika Brzezinski says that the people shouldn't have booed him because they spend 3 hours a day calling out corrupt politicians. She for real said that in a tweet that y'all shouldn't boo the president because we take care of that for 3 hours a day. They think their propaganda is good enough, that their lies are good enough. They can sell you whatever they want and you'll eat it up with a spoon. And, in a lot of ways, they're not wrong. It's what we've shown them. It's what we've been doing. Not you and me, but we, society as a whole, everybody. You got to take ownership of this and realize that it's our responsibility. That's the only way anything's going to change. A lot of I host the political show, The Daily Burn. So you know where I stand politically. But how do you stand? It doesn't matter. As long as you believe in fighting, I'm with you. You're my ally. As long as you believe in fighting the system that's controlling us, which is this greed-based, greed-driven system that needs to be overturned and overtaken. The only thing that will do that is us doing it. No heroes coming to save the day. So even if you're a Trump supporter, which Nick is, we're going to interview Nick Wednesday night, Trump can't save you. If you believe in that, you need to believe that you got to do it. And that's the only way that it happens. That's the only way that change happens. But it looks like Royce mentioned a few. He said, I like Crystal Ball Show. The Hill, I think that's the name. She was good on MSM before they kicked her off because she supported Bernie Sanders. Right on. I'll check that out. But anything that you guys dig, let me know. And share it. Share examples or a clip or a link even to it. Don't feel like you're trolling me. I'm asking you to. So I want to find new sources and new journalists to follow and things like that. And again, earlier I said anyone that knows anyone that would be interested in interviews and coming on with me, I can interview with this. And, I'm paying for it, so I want to use it. It's my new toy. So politicians, activists, anybody. I also have my conspiracy theory show. So any experts on various topics that you might know, let me know and I'll reach out to them and see if they'd be interested in being on the shows because I would really like to do that. And then again, real quick, I'll just mention that there are a lot of ways to support the shows. I do 5 little shows. There's no links in the description for this because we're just hanging out and I'm testing my Be Live. But I have a Patreon and PayPal, and you can support the shows, and I'd really appreciate it. We're getting new equipment and new things like this. I'm also wanting to get another program that is monthly. Like right now, I have Caster, and that allows me to multi-stream. That one costs $10 a month, and then this one's $30 a month to do interviews and have guests. But there's another one where I can pull the comments in, so you'll be able to see them on the screen. Not just like this, where I can bring them in, which is cool. I like this, and it's working really good. But where you can see them all the time, and you can see YouTube's comments as well. So, and I can all at the same time, because right now I need to use like two devices and open up 3 or 4 tabs to look at everyone's comments when I'm multi-streaming. So that's going to make it a lot easier for me and a little cooler for you guys. There's just a lot of cool things coming up, and you can support all that by helping to support our shows on Patreon and PayPal. But next thing I wanted to get into is, well, that was it. That was all I wrote down. So what do you want to talk about? We can do a little more time. I got time to hang out. I promised Babos that I would clean the room today, so I got stuff I got to do, and I need to write and prepare for tonight's interview. Again, tonight at 9 Central, I'm going to be interviewing Roxy Love again. She's a flat earther, and we're going to be talking about flat earth. So if you have questions for Roxy, let me know, because I'm going to ask my questions this time. The first time, I thought we had more time, so I let her talk. I wanted to let her express herself as much as she wanted, because I felt like we had plenty of time for the rest of it. I ended up being wrong, and we got cut off. So tonight we're going to get into a lot of your questions. So anything you want to know and you'd like me to ask, go ahead and leave it in the comments, and I'll get into it with Roxy tonight. So, and then tomorrow night we're having Nick Reeder on, who is he's a really deep and really into and a researcher of the QAnon phenomenon. He's going to point us about that and explain that to us, and we're going to go down that rabbit hole, and that's for the Conspiracy Theory Show. So that's what we do on the Conspiracy Theory Show. Like Roy says, oh boy, right? I know, but Flat Earth is a real conspiracy, and the reason why we're doing a part 2 is because we got cut off. Like, I didn't get to ask you guys' questions. You know, people want to know, like, okay, what about this guy who's offering $5 million to anybody who can prove the earth is flat, or something to do with Flight Pass? And then, you know, there's other great questions. Some of them I have written down. I got to find them in my notes, but from people that had asked them, I just didn't get to ask any. So it ended up looking like a 1-hour pro flat earth show, because she is, and I was letting her speak. So that's why we're doing a part 2, so that we get more of you guys' questions in and stuff like that. And then regular night for Conspiracy Theories and Chill is Wednesday night. Tuesday's usually my night off, my writing night and research night, where I get to watch things. People send me all kinds of cool stuff, but I'm so far behind in watching it. My watch list is like 2 pages long of stuff I still need to get to and look at. But with a full-time job and 5 different shows, I don't have a lot of time. So I always try to tell people, I'm not trying to ignore the things you've sent me, and I really appreciate you sending me stuff and all that, but I only have one night a week that I get to look through it. I'm real busy. When I get more supporters and I'm able to do this as a job, I'll be able to focus real heavy on all of it, and I hope we get there one day. But right now, I'm doing the best I can. So I do try to look at everything that is sent to me. But tonight we're going to be interviewing Roxy, just because we needed to do a part 2. We had to. We didn't get it out. I wanted to talk about the whole conspiracy. That's what we do on Conspiracy Theories and Chill. And that's my Conspiracy Theory Show. That's my baby anyway. That's where it all started. That was pretty much my first show, is getting on and talking about conspiracies. That's my passion. That and comedy. And then the rest of this grew from there. So I have more shows now. We've gotten more professional, but I've kept that one around, and I love that one. That one's fun. And I'm going to do Bigfoot for Nissa, if Nissa's still here. Bigfoot's going to happen. I'm trying to get someone to interview about Bigfoot, an expert, because I'm not. And I'm willing to take on the role if I have to and research and make a Bigfoot video, but I'd rather have an expert on, a Bigfoot researcher or something, and interview them. So, but NISA's been wanting Bigfoot for a long time, and we're going to do it. But we'll do any conspiracy you want. I would even cover the one that I hate. There is one conspiracy that I hate. I absolutely hate this one. And this one is that Alex Jones is Bill Hicks. Oh, that makes me angry. That probably makes me angry as Flat Earth makes Steve. You know what I'm saying? That one makes me mad. But Steve actually believes that Bill Hicks is Alex Jones. So Royce says, don't be spreading yourself too thin. You got to spend time with your family, brother. Oh, man, I don't. I don't. This is actually a passion, and I'm doing this because I'm trying to transition. This will eventually be my job. So I got a set schedule at my new job, and it's actually great. I'm actually in a way better position there now. And Babel says, yes, he does. But yeah, Babels, I'm right here. My office is in the bedroom. But I will eventually have this as my job, and then that will free up all of that time that I spend at my regular job. You have to work towards your goals, and nothing happens without effort. And I'm right here, Babels. I'm in the bedroom. I'm looking right at the bed. My office is the bedroom. So I never leave the house except to go to work. I'm a good Babels right here. But put Babel's comment up on the screen. That's Babels. That's who I talk about all the time. But when I get more creators too, I will also have a little more freedom to back off a little bit. But these aren't as hard for me as I make them out to be. I'm actually pretty good at just running on at the mouth. And I figured out a way to use that gift. And hopefully you're digging it, and hopefully you want to support it so that maybe one day I can be doing this professionally. And by then, I hope to have quit smoking so that I won't have to fight the urge so much to smoke during these feeds. I hate when I do it, and I did it. So I'm just going to own it now and keep doing it because we're still hanging out. And as long as you guys want to talk about something, we can. Next thing I got to do is clean this room, and I'm not looking forward to that. But I wanted to promote the interview tonight with Roxy. I wanted to test out BeLive, make sure it was working, make sure I could refresh the page, make sure I could play with your comments and all of that. And I kind of wanted it to run into a problem, which is why I'm, talking, keeping going, because I want to see what happens if there is an actual problem. Like, I want to see something that's happened a lot in the feeds on BeLive is the comments will stop. Like halfway through the feed, we'll get like an hour in, and the comments will just stop uploading. And she assures me if I refresh, it'll solve that too. But we didn't run into that problem this time. But circling back to the first thing we talked about, does anybody here currently think that Hillary will run for president? Do you think Hillary has any intention of running? I don't. I think it's misdirection and just to sell books, like Dion said earlier. But what do you think? Do you think there's any chance that Hillary Clinton will run for president? I don't. I really don't. I think it was shown to her beyond a shadow of a doubt that nobody wants her to be president, and she has no chance of winning. And I think that was proven to her. I think she got embarrassed, and I don't think that she wants that to happen again. I really don't. And looks like Babels agrees with me that she won't run. Babels says no. Is Royce still here? What do you think, Royce? Do you think Hillary will enter the race? Because this particular friend of mine on Facebook thinks that because Bill entered late, Hillary still might. But she won't. I really don't believe she will. She won't do it. She'll talk about it. She'll flirt with it. But it's to sell books. She has no intention of running. But again, real quick before we wrap up, anyone that knows anybody that might be interested in interviews, doing an interview with me on the show and being a guest, hook me up with them. Point me in the direction, and I will reach out. Because I'd love to have experts on. Maybe there's a subject that you'd love to see covered, and you know an expert. Point me at them, and I will reach out to them and see if they'll come on and do something with me. And then, that's how we're going to get a lot of cool interviews. Because I don't know that many people. I'm reaching out to the ones that I do know. I'm doing my best to get guests lined up. But if you know any, let me know. So Royce says no, she would kill their puppets the DNC is pushing. Yeah. Oh, they'd back down. They would immediately back down to Lord Hillary instantly. But no, I don't think she's going to run. I really don't. I would bet on that too. I don't have the money to bet. I can't even afford to finish getting my computer, but I don't think there's any chance she's going to run. None. I really don't at all. So, and then I also wanted to remind everybody one more time, anybody that's just here or anything, about the blue buckets. Look for those. And those are for special needs children that may look too grown for Halloween but aren't. And then someone tells Twitter that not everyone that uses Twitter has a cell phone. And I'm not going to pay for minutes on my cell phone to use Twitter because I can't tell them, because they ban me and they won't let me tweet till I give them a cell phone number, which isn't going to happen. But thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for letting me play with this. Thanks for letting me experiment with the Be Live and play with it and see if it works. And to Be Live, figure out how to get YouTube interaction. Right now, Be Live doesn't work with YouTube. I can't stream to YouTube with Be Live. That sucks. But anything you guys want to get into real quick before we wrap up, let me know. Because we can hang out and talk about anything at all. Anything you want to. Tonight at 9 p.m. Central, I'm interviewing Roxy Love, the Flat Earther. Come and ask your questions. Tonight, I will make sure your questions get asked. Last time I let her talk because I thought we had more time. But we didn't. We crashed. And tonight we're going to do it again. And I will ask your questions. So tell me what you want me to ask her. And then tomorrow night on Conspiracy Theories and Chill, Nick Reeder, QAnon. We're going to talk about QAnon. We're going to go into that rabbit hole. He's going to take me on a guided tour and explain it all to me. So come for that. And thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me and letting me test Be Live out with you. Kind of being my guinea pigs, and I really appreciate you doing that for me. But come tonight at 7, if you love Bernie Sanders and the political revolution. The Daily Burn is on every night at 7 p.m. Central. So follow me on Facebook. I do lots of little shows. And like Royce says, I've gotten a lot better at it as we've gone along. And I'm only going to get better. So things are going to get cooler. Things are going to get neater. Cynthia says, Flat Earther, LOL. Right, I get it. But isn't there entertainment value in that? I mean, I like all conspiracies, and it's a conspiracy theory show. That's what it is. So we were talking about that particular conspiracy by request, by the way. I'll cover any conspiracy, anything anybody wants to hear about. Like if someone wanted to hear about lizard people, I would interview David Icke in a second. If David Icke would come on Conspiracy Theories and Chill, hint, hint, David Icke, I would love to interview you. But I don't believe in lizard people. So I'll talk about anything. And we're doing a part 2 because I never got to ask the questions. we crashed. The feed crashed. I thought we were going to do 2 hours, and I thought we had more time. I thought we had plenty of time, but we didn't. So we're doing a part 2 on my night off, which is usually tonight, with Roxy at 9. And thank you, Cynthia. Cynthia says I love your posts. I don't know why I called you Cindy, but thanks for saying that. I really appreciate that. Let's hang out tonight, because tonight I am going to ask the questions. I let her talk because I thought we had time, like I said. But tonight we'll get into it. And then tomorrow the QAnon guy is coming, Nick Reeder, and he's going to teach us about that. You may not like QAnon either. I don't know if you're familiar with that. QAnon is the conspiracy. Well, I don't know if I would call it. I guess it is a conspiracy. It's someone that they think is leaking information from the Trump administration to the public, and they think it's somebody with high up Q clearance. And I don't understand it deeply, but Nick's going to explore it with us and help us understand it and get into it. And Cynthia says there's a great doc on flat earthers on Netflix. Is there really? I have Netflix. I'm going to watch it. I'll watch it while I clean the room and put it on and check it out, because I'm going to interview her tonight. And like I said, I didn't do any pushback the first time because I thought we had more time. So if you wanted the pushback, come tonight, because I'm going to ask your questions, but be respectful. Even if you think the flat earth is ridiculous, be respectful. She is a real person, and I don't condone that. So I won't read your comments if they're ignorant. If your comment is, hey, you're a moron, how about this, this, and this? You're not getting shown on the screen. I'm not going to interact with you. But if you have a real question, a real pushback, real facts, real science, we will get into it. We will bring it up. So please come back for that. And I will see you guys later on at 7 p.m. Central for the Daily Burn and 9 with Roxy. Oh, we just got some people coming in. Well, what do you want to talk about? I'm trying to test my Be Live. I'm trying to make sure I'm paying for this. So I'm worrying a lot more, and I've got these interviews coming up, so I'm trying to test it. And I was wanting it to fail, but it hasn't failed yet, because they assure me, because Be Live is very responsive to comments. If you give them a negative review, instantly you get an email like, what went wrong? So I told them what went wrong, and they tell me that there's certain fixes I could do, and I wanted it to happen on the fly and see if I could fix it during live, so it didn't happen while I had a guest here. But what we've been talking about is a few different things that I had written down, but I've exhausted my notes. We've been talking for about an hour, and anything you want to talk about before we wrap up, I'll give you a chance, because we just had 3 or 4 people come in. So anything you want to talk about, anything you think's important, anything you want to get out there, let me know, and we'll bring it up real quick. So I'll let you know what we were talking about. We talked about how Hillary's teasing running for president, but I don't think there's any way she ever will. Talking about how I got banned from Twitter, why I'm not on Twitter right now, and they think I'm a robot and I can't get back on until I give them a cell phone number, and I'm not buying a cell phone card to give Twitter a cell phone number, so no Twitter for a while. And then the blue buckets, autistic kids will be carrying, on special needs children and that may look too grown for Halloween, will be carrying blue buckets. And that means they're special needs. That's just a way for you to identify them. Let me see here. What does this say? Oh, Cynthia's comment, I don't think she was done. What do you think about Joe Biden comparing burners to Trump supporters? That was the rest of her comment. He did. I had read something. I didn't get to look at a lot of news this morning. Slept in a little bit this morning. This is my day off from my regular job. That's why it was usually my day off for shows too, except the Daily Burns every day. But that's crazy. Burners are very passionate, very caring people that are deeply concerned and want to make massive change. Trump supporters, and I apologize to anyone that is part of this group, but you've been misled, I believe, by a con man who has sold you a pack of lies. And everything that he's done while in office has proven to you that it is all lies. And something that gets pointed to a lot is that, well, he donates his salary. Yeah, but he golfs at a private resort that he owns at profit and cost to the American taxpayer. There is places that the president can go for golfing and for relaxing in resorts that are made for protecting the president. To protect him at Mar-a-Lago is very expensive. And that costs the taxpayers way more than his salary would be. So just his golfing, which is extreme, shows you that his intentions are not good. Burners have a candidate that has 40-year history of integrity and always fighting for the same things and being consistent. If nothing else, Bernie is extremely consistent. And I think Burners and Trump supporters are very different. Because Trump supporters, they are good people. Like a lot of you, or a lot of people, the media has led people to believe that Trump supporters are bad people or that you got to be a racist to support Trump. That's just not true. And, you know, there are good people that support Trump that have deeply good intentions and aren't racist and actually do believe the man is going to do the things that he says. But you got to look at his actions. I believe you got to look at his actions, and his actions clearly show that, to me anyway, that he's not ever going to do what he's telling you. You know, he's going into coal country and telling people, I'm going to bring back coal jobs. No, you're not. You are lying. You are lying to these people. Well, Bernie is going around and informing them and letting them know how they've been lied to and how they've been conned and took for fools. They're not bad people. Most of them have good intentions. It's a minority that are bad. Not that there's not bad people, but it's a minority. They have good intentions. They want good things. I know a lot of them. I'm actually flirting with the idea of a show with a Trump supporter, a friend of mine named Clinton, and I just don't know what to call it yet. I haven't figured out what to call it yet. Hi, Ram. I haven't figured out what to call the show, but just where we talk about unity and how to fight together with different views. I'm very against closing myself off in an echo chamber because I think what we need to do is rise up. And I don't really care how you feel politically. As long as you want to fight, as long as you want to do something about the evil going on in the world, you're on my side. So if your side wins, and because they do got us broke up in little groups, I mean, you got to acknowledge it, it's there. So, you know, if you're fighting on the Republican side but you have the good intentions and you're part of my fight, you're on my side. And I'm rooting for you. So, but you got to be open to other ideas in order to move forward, in order to grow, in order to learn. And you can't close yourself off. But there are a lot of good people that support Trump. Don't be misled by the media that all Trump supporters are bad. Like you will find out tomorrow night. Nick, I believe. I don't want to speak for the man, but I believe he still supports Trump. And he's a real cool guy. You will find that out. So even if you hate Donald Trump, you're going to get something from the QAnon episode tomorrow with Nick. So I'm looking, tomorrow. Today is Tuesday. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Yeah, Sean, you were right the first time. A lot of times I question things that fall out of my mouth without giving them thought. But I was right that time. I was wrong to question it. And then another thing we talked about during the feed was Mika Brzezinski and how she thinks that she exposes corrupt politicians for 3 hours a day. You know, because that was her response to the booing incident at the World Series, is that we shouldn't have done that, or the people, not we, I wasn't there, but that they shouldn't have done that. Whether they did or not, I don't know. but that they shouldn't have done that because they spend 3 hours a day pointing out corrupt politicians. Mika Brzezinski from Morning Joe actually believes. Does she actually believe it, or is she just saying it? You know what I mean? So you never know. Because is she a bad person? Like these journalists, like a Rachel Maddow. Is Rachel Maddow a bad person? Do you think she's evil or just cashing a very huge paycheck and reading off a teleprompter? You know, how evil and involved do you think she even is? She's pushing a fake agenda, just like Mika Brzezinski and Morning Joe. Cynthia says that they got dragged on Twitter. I didn't get to see it because Twitter banned me until I give them a cell phone number, which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. You can use Twitter without a cell phone. So why do I need to give you my cell phone number to get back on Twitter? I didn't need a cell phone number to sign up for Twitter. You know, robots can have cell phones, Twitter. I saw a robot the other day on a Facebook video. It scared me to death. They were kicking it and hitting it with things, and it was shooting targets with a gun, a handgun. A robot could probably send you a phone number before I'd be able to, because I'm not going to be able to give Twitter a phone number till I buy a phone card. And like I said, cell phones don't even work where I'm sitting. So why would I buy a phone card? So Twitter's going to be waiting with their hand out for a long time. And that kind of has me wondering, are they in bed with Big Phone? I'm serious. I'm laughing, but I'm serious. Man, you know what? I swear, nothing happens when you want it to. I want this to crash. I want something bad to happen during the feed, and it won't because I want it to. I bet I can make it happen, though, if we start talking about Julian Assange and if we start talking about, hey, did you know that Epstein didn't kill himself? Epstein didn't commit suicide. That's hot garbage, and that's lies from the media. Can I make this stream crash by talking about things that you're not supposed to talk about? Where did that go? You know, the Epstein story. Real quick, while I'm trying to run my little experiment to see if talking about taboo issues will get me throttled so that my feed will crash. Where did the Epstein story go? You know, that was a big story. That was real news happening in this country. Where'd that go? What happened to that? So the man hangs himself in his prison cell, according to the media. And the story just goes away. Why? You know, what happened to that? And Julian Assange. I've done a few feeds. The feeds that I mentioned where they took my views away, I was talking about Julian Assange. Why can't we talk about that? What's going on with Julian is a crime against humanity. Julian Assange is a journalist. He is a journalist. He is what journalists are supposed to be. What journalists once were. And he's sitting in a prison cell for terrorists, for being a journalist, for telling the truth. His organization, WikiLeaks, in their entire existence, has never published false information. Not once. So why? Why is Julian Assange being persecuted for telling the truth, for putting the truth out there? What sense does that make? And why is the truth being destroyed? You know, Cynthia says it's horrible what they're doing to him. So sad. It is incredibly sad. But we need to realize that nothing will be done about it unless we do something. We have to be the ones that do something for Julian Assange. And a lot of people are being misled about who he even is. The media is doing the best job that they can of painting him as a villain, as a super spy, as a computer hacker. It's ridiculous. And we need to do all we can to bring awareness to what the truth is with Julian. All right, I finally got the mistakes I wanted. It's not allowing me to do something that I wanted to do. And I'm going to give it a little more time to see what else will go wrong. But it's interesting that it's probably only a coincidence that things started going wrong when I started talking about Julian Assange. But we'll see afterwards if my video has any views. They take away my views when I talk about stuff like this. But Julian Assange is not even being able to prepare a defense. You understand? It's a crime against justice and a crime against all of humanity and a crime against the truth, what's happening to Julian Assange. And it is our responsibility to do something about it. We can't wait for some hero to come along. Nobody's coming. Nobody's coming. We got to do it ourselves. Or we're going to wake up one day in a world where there is no truth. Hey, Tina. Tina Bobina. I know Tina. I work with Tina. Good to see you here. But yeah, we need to fight for Julian. We need to stand up for what's right here. And what's right is the truth. And if it can be destroyed by the truth, it deserves to be destroyed by the truth. You know? Cynthia, you did help. You threw out some good comments. And you threw out another one I'm going to get to. I'm going to get to it here in a second. But you did help. And it's funny. I can make it crash. I can. If I went on and on about Epstein, which I should, because that's the only thing that's going to get it out there in the media is us pushing and screaming that that man didn't kill himself. He might not even be dead. Isn't that crazy that that's not outside the realm of possibilities? That Epstein is walking around alive and we were presented with a fake body. Just like this ISIS leader that they supposedly killed. Ginger was at my feed last night. Says this guy's been killed 5 times. We live in the age of deceit. Everything's a deception. And real news like this, like what's happening to the Palestinian people on our dime, is not covered, is suppressed. And when you talk about stuff like this, your feeds crash out, you know? So it looks like it did. Right on. Good to know. So the lady was right. Cynthia asked a really good question. I'm going to put it up on the screen and we're going to get into that before we wrap up. She asked, will we ever know who all the people are that were involved with Epstein? I don't know. The only way we'll know is if we dig it for it ourselves and put it out there. And places to put it out they're trying to silence them. They're trying to shut them down, like, WikiLeaks. They're trying to do away with places like that. They're trying to suppress the truth and throttle it and shut it down. So I don't know. I fear that I fear the truth will die if we don't protect it. We have to realize that we have to protect it. It is our responsibility and our job. Yeah, I had to refresh. It went black though before I refreshed. So after I put the Free Palestine comment up, and then a couple seconds later, I was talking and I noticed my screen on the phone was black, and I mentioned that was good. And then I refreshed it. I don't know how much audio went out. I'll find out when I watch it back, because I did talk the entire time, but I did refresh it. But we're going to wrap up. Cynthia had asked, though, I'm going to put it back up because I got sidetracked. But Cynthia had asked, will we ever know all the people that were involved with Epstein? We know some. The flight logs were released, and I'll pull that up. I'm going to do a whole conspiracy theories and chill on the Epstein thing, just because I feel like we need to bring focus and attention back to that story. So I'm going to do that, and I will list off and read off the flight logs and all of that. Roy says there's no audio now. Is there no audio now, or there was no audio while it was black? But we're going to cover that, and I will reveal those flight logs and read them off for you. A lot of big names. But we know a lot of them. We know some of them. Trump's on there. Clinton's on there. Bill Clinton multiple times, 20-something times. Bill Clinton flew with Jeffrey Epstein. 20-something times he ditched the Secret Service to do so. And where did they go? Jeffrey Epstein was running a sex ring, multiple sex rings. This was all exposed and is being ignored by the media as much as they possibly can. And will continue to be buried if we don't do all we can to get the truth out. To get the truth out there about what's going on. But that's our job and our responsibility, and that's something we have to do. And we're going to do that, because we have to. And I think enough of us realize that it's our job moving forward, and that we have to get out the truth about things like Epstein. And we're doing a great job of it. By the way, those memes are fantastic. The memes that are throwing in the Epstein suicide was BS. Those are great. And we need some about this ISIS guy too, because that's BS too. It's fake. It really is fake news. And Roy says, just like Bernie Sanders is killing it. Absolutely. The revolution is happening. We are winning. It is happening right now. So be a part of it. Come at 7 and check out The Burn. That's a little show I do. It's an inspirational show for the Bernie Sanders movement and the revolution. And we do that every night at 7 p.m. Central. So come back tonight for that. And at 9 for the interview with Roxy, because that's going to be fun. And I will ask your questions. We will get into everything that you guys wanted us to get into, and all of that. But thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for letting me test out my Be Live and play with my new toy. I will see you guys later on for the Daily Burn at 7. So have a good day, and come back and hang out with us later for the Daily Burn. And then for the Roxy interview too. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Have a good day. See you later on.